Hey everyone, so this will be the first episode of my analog mastering rig rundown series. Today we're going to take a look at my Teegarden Audio Magic Pre2100, which I've had custom modded to fit my needs for mastering. Alright, so here is the unit, Magic Pre2100. Now originally this was a stereo mic pre made by Teegarden Audio, which is a local Nashville-based company. And originally, this was the 2100TS model, TS for transformer. So originally, the model could indeed sum into a transformer, but it summed down into mono. Perhaps this was really geared towards electric guitar players or guitar players where, perhaps you're miking your guitar amp and you've got a 57 and a 121 on it, and you want to be able to sum that signal into mono for a really, really high quality recording that then makes it a lot easier to mix or send off to whoever. Now, I didn't come up with the idea to modify this unit. I have to give credit to Frank Gagliardi at the Fuselage, a fellow Nashville-based mastering engineer who let me sit in on a session with him last year when he had just gotten his unit in, and I fell in love with what it was able to do to a mix. Now, his unit originally only had 2 sets of transformers, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Basically, what was done to modify this is the transformers were modified to accommodate a line level input instead of a mic level input, which is a change to only the front end. So this ends up allowing an improved signal to noise ratio, and there's less overall distortion. But of course, that depends on which output path you switch in. Mentioning output paths, let's look at this. So I can just bypass the unit, completely take it out of the chain, or I can go into discrete, which completely takes out the transformers. So if I just want nice, clean analog level without so much coloration, I can get that. And then, of course, we can engage the transformers. So let's talk about what transformers are in here. So the Teegarden Audio proprietary one that was in the original unit is their nickel Cinemag style transformer. And then what Frank had added to his unit initially was a pair of vintage Neves. So I had to find my own, which was a bit of a process, but I eventually found some Marinair transformers from the early 70s. And then after getting in touch with Brett at Teegarden about having my own unit built, I also decided that I wanted to put my own spin on it. I have always loved the sound of the API 2500 bus compressor, so we ended up deciding upon a set of API Litz transformers to add in there. Each one of these transformer couples adds a really interesting subtle coloration to mix, which we're now going to delve into. Before we get into sound demos of the unit, let's get into how I first set it up and dial it in when I'm first pulling up a mastering session. First and foremost, I'll begin to play my source material and take it off of bypass and put it on discrete mode. From here, I will then begin to adjust the gain pot until I get the desired amount of level passing through the unit. My one sort of gripe with this unit is that the gain control isn't stepped, and especially as a mastering engineer, having that really precise ability to set my controls and recall them is really important. However, with that said, Teegarden Audio now does make their Magic Pre's with attenuated gain pots, so it's not so much an issue for any new units being built. Once I kind of get that desired level of gain, I will then go ahead and pause my source material and move on to sending a sine wave through the unit using my Lynx Helo. So with my Lynx Helo, to generate the sine tone, I'll go into routing, and then because of how I have my mastering chain and I/O set up, I use a sine tone generator from the line out, and I will press it. and then bring it up until, as you can see here, I get a nice level coming through the VU meters. And I will bring that up until I get it as close to 0 as possible. So now that I've gotten just about there, I will then back off or increase the gain control until I have both of them reading perfectly at 0 on the VU meters, and then I will also check that using a digital meter in Pro Tools, my DAW of choice. Alrighty everyone, welcome to the Pro Tools session. So before we go ahead and print our sample mix through the discrete mode and all 3 different transformers of the Magic Pre, so we know what we're listening to and we can demo the unit, I want to shout out today's mix. This is an unmastered mix that I was sent by Nachi. It's a song by him and Don Lay. He produced it and mixed it at his studio in Madrid, Dreams Demos. The song is called The Hose, Stop Him. I'll have a link to that in the description below, as well as a link to Nachi's work. I work with him on a lot of stuff, so you'll probably be seeing more of his mixes in a few other of my videos moving forward. So just so we understand signal flow for what I'm doing here, let's take a quick look at my A to D, D to A converter. So I'm using a Lynx Hilo. The mix will be going out of the Lynx Hilo's USB play 1 and 2 output, and that'll then be going into the Magic Pre through the line out path. I've got the line in and output trim on plus 18 dBu. That way it would be theoretically a flat signal if it's perfectly gain matched, no, change in level there. Then it comes back after the Magic Pre into the DAW through the line input path on USB record 5 and 6, and I monitor on 3 and 4. So what we're going to try our best to do is use meters to gain match the incoming signal from the Magic Pre with the original mix. And then if need be as well, we'll try and tweak some of the gain on some of the printed tracks to get it as close as possible. All right, everyone, so I'm going to go ahead and play the track, and on the left here, I've got just a meter. It's just from my DDP and vinyl deliverable software, Hoffa, just using their beta meter here. So on the left, we've got the mix, and on the right, we've got the mix after going through the Magic Pre. So I'm going to do my best here to play through the song and get these matched up as close as possible. So let's go ahead and do that. Just going to loop this section, and we're going to quickly dial this in.
Yeah. She's embarrassed by the difference in our confidence.
Magic Pre is about to come on here.
I can't abandon. She calling me handsome for my summer money.
This is just on discrete mode.
She was with a nobody, I had to save her. I'm so generous like parents to let you cuss. This is music money, honey, it ain't a trust. Now she sat in a satin dress in business in Budapest, out of Cali, cause I heard her say you the best. Young moolah, gold jeweler, capable to leave alone and prime with no suitor. Bullet in a shoe, I'm a road tutor. Teaching statistics like how many lyrics should I use to diss kids. Government hit list, Dale gone rogue. He's on a yacht in the harbor, category armed and dangerous. He made a major fuss. Yeah. She's embarrassed by the difference in our confidence. I've been blessed with opulence that
now it's out.
She calling me handsome for my summer money. Can you
now it's in.
She was with a nobody, I had to save her. I'm so generous like parents to let you.
All right, so now that I've got the level pretty much there, I was just adjusting the Magic Pre with my hands, so there's going to be a little bit of difference between the left and right. So now we're going to go ahead and make those little micro movements and dial in the left and right channels to get them perfectly aligned. And we're going to go ahead and use a sine wave generator in the Lynx Hilo to do so. All right. Cool. Super fun sounding. I absolutely love doing that. One of the, again, as I mentioned, one of the sort of downsides of this unit is just having to do that on every master I do. But at the end of the day, there are some exciting updates coming soon with that will remove the need for doing that. So now I'm going to go ahead and record all of our different prints through the Magic Pre. So we've now recorded prints through every single setting on the Magic Pre. As you can see by the waveform, I think we did a pretty good job on getting it pretty close, but you can see, I mean, these are all completely the same. I didn't do any adjustment of gain here. So we're just going to want to take a quick look at the transients here and look at some meters and dial in the gain matching between the mix and the rest of these prints just a little bit more, just to make sure we're getting as close as possible. So I just found adding 0.1 dB ended up getting me pretty much the exact same readout within plus or minus 0.1 dB values as the song was playing. And I'll be honest, I don't think any of us here are going to be too sad about any differences there. So I think this is close enough to be scientific for today's video. Let's go ahead and listen to a little sample from each track and try and notice the differences. Listen for the transients, listen to the highs, the mids, the lows. Again, these are all really subtle things. I really recommend throughout this test that you're listening on really high quality headphones or monitors so you can really kind of analytically hear these changes as accurately as possible.
Bandana, oh, you not a fanna. Coburst, cosign with a katana, I'm a Golana. Helicopter on the roof of a manor. You lost your money cause you been on Solana. I'll be on a beat like it's not a beat. Only kind of me because she needed a follow. And I ain't 21, but my errands are getting done by IG models. Bandana, oh, you not a fanna. Coburst, cosign with a katana, I'm a Golana. Helicopter on the roof of a manor. You lost your money cause you been on Solana. I'll be on a beat like it's not a beat. Only kind of me because she needed a follow. And I ain't 21, but my errands are getting done by IG models. Bandana, oh, you not a fanna. Coburst, cosign with a katana, I'm a Golana. Helicopter on the roof of a manor. You lost your money cause you been on Solana. I'll be on a beat like it's not a beat. Only kind of me because she needed a follow. And I ain't 21, but my errands are getting done by IG models. Bandana, oh, you not a fanna. Coburst, cosign with a katana, I'm a Golana. Helicopter on the roof of a manor. You lost your money cause you been on Solana. I'll be on a beat like it's not a beat. Only kind of me because she needed a follow. And I ain't 21, but my errands are getting done by IG models. Bandana, oh, you not a fanna. Coburst, cosign with a katana, I'm a Golana. Helicopter on the roof of a manor. You lost your money cause you been on Solana. I'll be on a beat like it's not a beat. Only kind of me because she needed a follow. And I ain't 21, but my errands are getting done by IG models.
So there you go. What I personally noticed was Discrete really wasn't too different. There was maybe a slight softening of the transient, but at the end of the day, it was pretty darn clean, which is a testament to the quality of the circuitry within the Magic Pre. Nickel kind of noticed a little bit of blooming to the high ends, especially that kind of like percussion in the background, that kind of like, I don't know if it was a triangle or whatever, cowbell sort of thing. I noticed that starting to jump up along with the kind of like reverb kind of blooming a little bit more. API, a pretty noticeable presence to the kick, and then the kind of this sort of smearing, mid-range smearing in a way to the vocal, but it adds a kind of a nice aggression too. And then from the Neve, kind of this 3D effect. If you're listening on really good monitors, you'll definitely hear a slight widening of the mix overall on the Neve. At least I did, but really also kind of an enhancement of the low end with a kind of enhancement to the highs as well. Thank you all for watching the video. If you have any specific questions about the unit, feel free to reach out to me or leave a comment below. If you're interested in picking up a unit like this for yourself, I'll put a link to Teegarden Audio's store page in the description below. And if you're interested in getting your music mastered, you can reach out to me via all of my contact information in the description as well.